Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into a classic today, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey.
This book, man, it's like it just doesn't age. Still so relevant.
Yeah, from the excerpts you sent, looks like there's plenty to unpack. Like how to make these habits work for you, make them practical.
Absolutely.
So let's jump right in.
Yeah.
Habit number 1, be proactive.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
It sounds simple enough, but it's more than just, taking initiative.
Right. It's about choosing how you respond. Even when things get tough, things get crazy.
I see.
It's like Covey uses this great analogy of a ship captain in a storm.
Okay, yeah,
You can't control the weather, right?
no,
But you can control how you steer the ship.
makes sense.
And thinking about the excerpts you shared, you mentioned that project deadline that kind of snuck up on you.
Oh yeah, that was a rough one.
That's your storm.
Haha, yeah.
But instead of freaking out, you can be proactive. Focus on what you can control. Break down the project, talk to your team, set realistic expectations.
Right, right. So where does this circle of influence thing come in? I saw that in the book.
Yes. Proactive people, they focus their energy on what they can actually influence, not on things they can't change.
Okay.
So think about it. You can't control traffic, but you can control when you leave for work. You can't control what a client demands, but you can control how you respond.
So it's about shifting from worry to action.
Exactly. And you know what? That leads us perfectly into habit 2. Begin with the end in mind.
Okay.
Covey really emphasizes visualization here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine trying to build a house without a blueprint.
Oh,
Total chaos, right?
yeah.
So this habit is all about creating that blueprint, but for your life. What do you want to achieve? What kind of person do you want to be?
There was this line in the book that really stuck with me, something like, it's so easy to get caught up in the busyness of life, climbing the ladder of success, only to realize it's leaning against the wrong wall.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And it's so true. It's about making sure your actions match your values, your goals. What's the point of achieving something if it doesn't mean anything to you?
Right. It's got to be meaningful. So let's say you've got your blueprint. How do you actually start building?
That's where habit 3 comes in. Put first things first.
Okay, prioritization time.
Exactly. And Covey has this brilliant time management matrix. Have you seen that?
I've heard of it.
It's all about urgent versus important.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at your to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
Answering emails, that feels urgent, right?
Oh, yeah.
But is it really important? That long-term project, maybe not urgent today, but it's super important for your goals.
It's so easy to get stuck in those urgent but not important things. I do that all the time.
It happens to everyone. That's why you got to schedule time for those important but not urgent activities. Block it out, Get rid of distractions and just focus on what really matters.
Love that. So we've talked about control, setting goals, and prioritizing. But what about working with other people? How do we do that effectively?
That's habit 4. Think win-win.
All right, so it's not about crushing the competition.
No, it's not about one person winning and the other losing. It's about finding solutions where everyone benefits.
I see.
Remember that negotiation you mentioned with your colleague?
Oh, yeah, that was, yeah.
It felt like a tug of war,
This
right?
totally did.
But if you shift to a win-win mindset, you can focus on understanding their needs, and then finding a solution that works for both of you.
So it's more collaborative, not competitive.
Exactly. And speaking of collaboration, that takes us to habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Oh, man. This one's tough. I'm always so ready to jump in with my own thoughts. I forget to actually listen sometimes.
I get it.
I mean, in my notes, I even mentioned that misunderstanding I had with, someone close to me. And looking back, I could have handled that whole conversation way better.
It happens. We all go into conversations with our own scripts ready to go. But Covey, he wants us to really listen. Listen with empathy.
Okay.
So before you share your own perspective, try to get where the other person's coming from. Ask questions, rephrase what they said, acknowledge their feelings.
It's about putting yourself in their shoes.
Exactly. And I know it can be hard, especially when things get emotional.
It really can.
But it's worth it. Empathetic listening, it builds trust and, it lets you connect on a deeper level.
Totally. Which brings us to habit 6, synergize. 2 heads are better than 1, right?
That's the idea. Synergy means that when you bring different people together with different perspectives, different skills, you can achieve amazing things. You get more than just the sum of the parts.
Okay.
Like that team project you mentioned where in the beginning, the brainstorming was just, ugh.
Oh, yeah, that was rough.
But then when you started actively looking for different viewpoints, encouraging everyone to share, that's when the magic happened.
It's about seeing those differences as strengths.
Exactly. And finally, we reach habit 7, sharpen the saw.
Now, this one's about, like, self-care.
It is. You got to take care of yourself, your body, your mind, your emotions, even your spirit.
Right.
You can't be effective if you're running on empty. Covey talks about these 4 dimensions of renewal. Physically, it's all the basics. Exercise, eat well, get enough sleep. Mentally, it's learning. Keep growing. Keep expanding your knowledge. Emotionally, it's about strong relationships and being aware of your emotions. And spiritually, it's about connecting with your values, your purpose.
It feels like this habit kind of ties everything together.
It really does. It's all connected. You start with being proactive, then you define your goals, you prioritize, you learn to work with others effectively. It's like a recipe for personal and professional growth.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up here, I want you to think about which habit speaks to you the most right now. Maybe it's focusing on what you can control. Maybe it's that empathetic listening. What's one small step you can take today to start putting it into practice?
Yeah, and remember, consistency is key. These habits, they're a journey, not a quick fix. Keep practicing, keep learning.
That's great advice. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the 7 habits. We hope you found it helpful, and we'll see you next time.